My name is Connor Ewart, and I am from Scotland. Before I found Best Music Coach, I was sort of, I would describe it as being lost in a vast desert of knowledge. I wanted to be a musician. I had an idea of what to do, where to go, but there was so many different things around me. I didn't know where to go. And then I found Best Music Coach, and it was like finding a map in the desert that showed me how to get to the places I wanted to go. Honestly, kind of hopeless. I knew what I wanted, and I kind of knew how to get there, but I didn't really know how to get there. I wasn't really connecting to anyone at all. My friends would go months at a time without seeing me. Um, and I know I have at least one friend who he struggled a lot just knowing that he couldn't bother me because I had things to do, but also wanting to keep in touch with me. When it came to music, I was trying to put so many instruments in, I was trying to do so many effects. I was spending hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, so on and so forth, on single parts of a song that ultimately didn't even end up sounding good because I did too much and I couldn't handle it all, but I felt I had to do all of that because that's what the pros do. My best pieces I've ever made, the 2 pieces that came out during my time with this course, are some of the simplest songs I've ever made in my life. And they sound great. They didn't even take me that long to make. I think between the 2 of them, that it was like I've spent a total 12 hours on those 2 pieces at most. I was thinking about this the other day, and I have always been a big fan of Toby Fox. Big inspiration for me. And when Deltarune's chapters 3 and 4 came out, I played through it, dropped everything to play through those chapters. And I was really interested in the music. And so, of course, when analysis started coming out for the tracks, I was consuming all of that. And then one day I noticed, hang on a second, this streamer I've been watching for a while, I've been watching for a few years, this Best Music Coach guy is going to go over the whole soundtrack. I should go check that out. And I did. And at some point during the stream, you had mentioned that you had courses. And I thought to myself, I'm trying to really get into music. This guy's doing courses. I've been watching him for years, so I know he knows what he's talking about. Let's go and look into this. So far, I've, as you know, had countless issues and problems, but none of that is due to the course. Absolutely none of that. If anything, I'm surprised at how much I managed to get through given how many things life has thrown in my face. While I'm trying to work on this, I've had uh, a total of 2.5 months with no internet. I went a few weeks with power cuts because of a huge storm that rolled through the country. I've been bedridden twice. And even through all of that, the course is so easy to go through. It's so fluid that I still managed to go through, 3 levels of music theory, a whole bunch of other courses, um, spent time in the community, and got 2 fully produced songs out despite having, I'd say, in the course of this um, experience, I've had maybe 3 full days where I could actually spend time on this course. So I've essentially got 3 songs out in 2 days. thanks to this course. Not 2 days, 3 days. 2 songs out in 3 days. You know what I mean? I spent a solid 4 years working on music, and I did get a bunch of songs out, but I wouldn't count that as getting songs out because when I go back and listen to them, they just didn't sound good, as I mentioned before. They were songs. They were out. They were published on YouTube, but I would not publish them today. Like, honestly, when I came into this, I probably wouldn't have even clicked on it if I hadn't been watching you for years. And if I hadn't sat through multiple hours of streams over the years watching you talk about music. So I knew for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that you knew what you were talking about. And then, of course, I also did my research, and I looked it up and seen plenty of places online saying that you were a great teacher, a great coach. Um, I remember seeing one video of, I don't remember who it was, but a guy just saying, like, you just put things across in a way people can understand. So when I signed up to this, I didn't have any second thoughts. I didn't have any doubts. Where I'm at now, as I've mentioned, maybe once or twice during this, I have 2 songs out. I'm planning a third that I'm working on. Um, and I think the biggest difference is I know a lot more now, a lot more about what actually goes into making a song. And specifically about the theory. And theory, for a long time before I joined this course, for me, sounded like a scary thing. It sounded like this big, overwhelming behemoth that I had to tackle, but really, it's just a bunch of very simple, very intuitive rules, especially the way that you put them across in your courses. Knowing all of that, I think has been one of the biggest differences between the songs I used to make and the songs I make now. Because when I was working on music before this course, I was really caught up on the idea that I had to improve my mixing. I had to get better at mixing because my mixes didn't sound good. And it was during this course, learning all of the theory, that I realized it wasn't that my ability to mix was bad. It's that the composition before the mix wasn't there, and that you can't fix that in a mix. That's probably the most valuable lesson I've learned. I know there's been times where, due to all the things that's come up, I've maybe seemed a little bit down, a little bit depressed, a little bit not up to it. I probably do still um, criticize myself a little bit too much, but I'm a lot more confident than I used to be. Because I used to go into a song, I used to sit down and I would just freeze for hours, sometimes days at a time, because instead of thinking about what I could do, I was thinking about whether I could do it. Now I know I can do it. I'm able to compose proper songs. Before I could put together a melody, but now I'm actually able to put thought and planning into my compositions because I actually know what I need to be thinking about. Well, so far it hasn't really had a positive impact on the people around me, but that's just because my time has been taken up so much with other things. If I didn't have all those other things to worry about, I guarantee you, I would have so much more time to actually spend time with the people I care about. I would have so much more time to actually form those connections, especially with my family. I've been very distant from my family. Um, with all that I've learned, if I was to try and make the same amount or the same volume of music I used to make before, I'd be able to do it in fractions of the time and would have so much more time for actually dedicating what the people in my life actually need from me. There is no price in the world, no amount of money that's worth a connection with someone else. I would just say, ask yourself, what is it that you want? If you want to become a musician, then join. It's as simple as that. If you don't want to become a musician, or you're not 100% sure that you want to become a musician, stop and think about what it is that you do want to do with your life. If you come to the answer that you want to be a musician, then there is a button that makes you a musician. It has 4 letters on it. It's JOIN. And that magical join button will make you a musician. Simple as. On the one hand, the courses are extremely helpful. They've really formed the basis of what I've been able to do so far. But probably the most important thing is the community, and especially those weekly meetings that we do every Saturday. Actually being able to sit down, and I'm not just working in a vacuum. I'm not just consuming courses. I actually have other people around me who can give feedback. And of course, everybody has people around them who can give feedback, but these are people who know what they're talking about. The most valuable thing to me is putting out my pieces, and instead of just hearing, oh, I like it or I don't like it, I get, you should try changing this specific thing at this time, see how that sounds, or, there's a little bit too much of this or not enough of this specific element. Having that constructive feedback is probably the biggest, most valuable, most useful tool in this entire course. It's changed the way I see things right now. I'm not going to say it's changed my life at the moment, because my life is kind of in the same place, but I think given a bit more time, this will probably, when I look back in the future as a musician and I try to figure out the pivotal point where I stopped being someone making music and started being a musician, it will be this. The thing that really stuck out to me when we first met and we first had that talk is, we talked a bit about music, and I talked a bit about what I'd done, and you talked a bit about what you had available. And then the longest amount of discussion that we spent was you helping me figure out my finances. And that's the moment that I realized that you're not just here to teach me how to make music, you are there to teach me how to live as a musician. That very first discussion was when I locked in my mind, that you were the one coach for me. And then since then, you've given me countless, and I mean countless, pieces of advice and hours of your time to figure out things completely unrelated to music. Because without those things, the music doesn't get made. One of the biggest things that you're constantly mentioning and constantly advocating for is gratitude. And I think all the things in my life that I am grateful for at the moment, I am most grateful in this exact moment in time for you and for the support that you have personally given to me, because it hasn't just been about teaching me music. I think that's what differentiates you from most coaches. Your job isn't to teach me music, it's to make me a musician. And you dedicate yourself wholeheartedly to achieving that goal. I am grateful to you and to everything that you have done.